Hi, in this video I am going to show you how to make the bottoms for the Rockport basket. Now the bottoms for the medium and the large are made the same, and there's a little bit different bottom for the wine carrier, and I'll explain all of those. The first thing that you have to do when you're making the bottom is you want to make a template. So the pattern instructs you to draw a circle and cut that circle in half, and to draw a rectangle. Now follow the pattern instructions on the sizes. Then you're going to take one side of the circle, place it on one side of the rectangle, the other side of the circle you will place on the other side of the rectangle, and you will tape them together. So there's your template for the bottom. You want to draw an arrow in the center of the front and back and the center of the two sides. Now if you want a more permanent template, say you think you might make more than one of these, I would suggest that you draw your template on template plastic. And this is how I would do that. You'll take your template plastic and you're going to draw your rectangle in the center of your template plastic. Then you're going to draw a circle, half a circle on one end and half a circle on the other end. I do that using, this is called a Creative Grids Quick Trim and Circle Ruler. To do that, the Quick Trim and Circle Ruler has very small holes, every 1/8 inch on one end, and then holes every inch for the rest of the ruler. So on this one I'm going to be drawing half of a 7-inch circle, so I'm going to put it on the 1/2 inch spot, and I'm going to put it right on the center of this right hand side line on the rectangle. Now half of a 7-inch circle is 3.5, so the 1/2 inch is here, then you count out 1, 2, 3. Put your pen in the hole at the 3.5 inch mark, and then first I'll check to make sure I'm in the right spot, and then I just take a pen, and you might have to go back and forth a couple of times, but I think you can see that I'm drawing that 1/2 inch circle on this end. Cut it out, and then draw your arrows, center of the front and back, and the two sides. For the wine carrier, you're simply going to make a 4-inch circle. So that's the difference on the wine carrier. The next step is that you will take your fabric rectangles and fuse your fabric rectangles to a double-sided stiff interfacing. There are a number of them on the market, and they're listed on the back of your pattern. Take your template that you made and just trace around it with a pen. Cut that out. And the next step is you're going to bind your raw edges. So here you are, you'll cut that out, and then you'll bind your raw edges. Take a 1 1/4 inch wide binding strip. Do not fold that over in half. You're going to use just one layer of fabric to bind the edge. Fold the beginning down about 1/2 inch, and then stitch with a 1/4 inch seam all the way around. Now this is not cut on the bias. If you cut your fabric, your binding strip, from selvage to selvage, there is a little stretch in your fabric if you cut it in that direction. It will easily go around that curve. So bind all the way around. Then you're going to flip this binding to the back. I won't do it all the way around. Because this interfacing is double-sided fusible, you'll now fuse this interfacing to the back of your double-sided fusible interfacing. So you've finished the raw edge of your bottom, but you need to cover that side. So you're simply going to make 2 of them. Place these 2 right sides together, make sure they line up really, really well, and stitch in that ditch all the way around, and then iron it to fuse the 2 together. You'll have something, this is the larger size, you'll have something that looks like this. Place on the bottom, place a pin in the center of the front, and you'll use that arrow that you drew on your template to place that pin. Now, if you're making the top is optional, and the top is right here. The top is made exactly the same way, except you're going to have tabs on the front and the back. Now the tabs will attach the top to the basket, and you just simply lean the handle back or forward to open it up. And on the front, the tab will have a magnetic snap to close the basket. So to do that, you'll make your 2 bottoms, just like you did for the bottom, and you will make these tabs according to the pattern instructions. Now the tabs are filled with stiff interfacing up to a certain point, and then there's just fabric in the ends. So you will place the tab, just the fabric portion of the tab, centered on the front and back, and again use your arrows to determine where that center is. Place the other top now on top of that, and again stitch in the ditch all the way around, and then iron to fuse the 2 together. So you have a piece now that looks like this. Tab in the front, centered on the center of the front and back, and the 2 pieces are sewn together. So the next step that you want to do is you want to pin the bottoms to the sides. So what you'll do is you'll take your sides and you'll overlap them, just like this. You want the center of the binding strip on the center front of your bottom. So you're going to take the pin that you placed in the front center, and you're going to match that to the vertical binding on the front. Let's see if I can hold this up and pin it at the same time. So I'm going to pin straight down through, the edges. Hopefully you can see that. And then I'm going to pin all the way around, maybe every inch or so. And I am pinning just through the edge of the 2 pieces of the bottom and then down into the sides. You do want to try and hide the pin, so you don't want the pin sticking out like this right here, because you could get your fingers or something caught on that. So you want the pin to run right down through the fabric. So pin all the way around, tuck the ends in behind, and continue to pin. In the next video, I'll show you how to sew the two together. That's it.